Hey there guys, and welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for being here. We're going to be talking about The Last of Us Season 2. Obviously this is an adaptation of a game by the same name. The Last of Us, touted as one of the best video games ever made. I remember sitting through and watching The Last of Us Part 2. What an emotional roller coaster that game was. Wow, whether you like it or hate it, it was done so well. And the first season of the live action adaptation, the series, people loved that first season as well. I mean, some people were a little bit cold on Bella Ramsey being cast as Abby, and I can understand why. I'm still a little bit kind of iffy on that casting. But Pedro Pascal coming in as Joel, he did a fantastic job, and the marketing is now ramping up for Season 2, and people are very, very excited to see where they go with this show. So we're going to take a look at brand new character posters and some brand new information for the upcoming Season 2. So let's get into it, let's break it down, and let's see what's going on. So this comes to us from Comic Book Movie. The Last of Us Season 2 sets official premiere date with new character posters and synopsis. So we have quite a lot of new information here. We have brand new character posters, we have the synopsis, and we have the official premiere date. So a lot of important information here to get to, you guys. Obviously Caitlin Dever, who's been cast as Abby, is coming into this season as well. One of the most important characters in the Last of Us franchise. So let's see how she nails the role. It'd be interesting to see how she pulls off the Abby role. So, every path has a price. HBO has finally announced an official premiere date for the second season of The Last of Us, and the acclaimed survival horror video game adaptation is set to return to our screens sooner than expected. So, Season 2 will debut on April 13th at 9 PM. So, it comes out April 13th, so it's just around the corner. So, it looks like at the same time, we're going to be having Daredevil Born Again, and we're going to be having The Last of Us Season 2 playing at the same time. So, it's a great time for TV, guys. Plenty of great content to go around. Taking the Sunday marquee time slot from the current third season of The White Lotus. So Max has already released new character posters. Max has also released new character posters featuring Ellie, played by Bella Ramsey. Again, I'm still a little bit iffy on that casting. A lot of people are. A lot of people just don't see Bella Ramsey as the Ellie character from the video games. It just, to some people, she just doesn't fit the role. She's a great actress, don't get me wrong, but a lot of people just don't see it, and I'm kind of one of those people. I'm a little bit iffy, but I guess like 5 minutes into an episode, I've kind of forgotten about the issue, because she's a great actress, I guess. So Joel, Pedro Pascal, he's fantastic. I mean, the guy can do no wrong. And Abby, played by Caitlin Dever, fantastic actress. I'm sure she's going to do great as Abby, along with the new promo still and pretty vague synopsis. So we have here, The Last of Us picks up in Season 2, 5 years after the events of first season. Joel and Ellie are drawn into a conflict with each other, and the world even more dangerous and unpredictable than the one they left behind. We're not sure exactly how much of the second game Season 2 will adapt, but HBO's Francesca Orsi recently indicated that the series could run for at least another 2 seasons. So yeah, obviously they adapted the first game into the first season. So the first season covers the first game, but then part two of the game is going to be drawn out into multiple seasons, which I get absolutely makes sense. I mean, with how big this IP and how popular this franchise is, it makes sense that HBO are going to try and milk this game and milk the franchise and try and draw it out into multiple seasons. So I absolutely understand why they're going to draw out The Last of Us Part 2, the video game, into multiple seasons. Also, there's so much ground to cover, so much story and narrative to put down, that it absolutely makes sense that you should adapt it into multiple seasons as well. So, you know, it works out as to why they're doing that. We're not sure exactly. Okay, I've already read that bit, so I apologize. Quote, "We don't have a complete or final plan, but I think it's looking like 4 seasons. I wouldn't want to confirm that, but it's looking like this season and then 2 more seasons after this, and we're done." That's kind of a bit strange though, isn't it? So they're going into Season 2, which is starting the second game, but they don't actually have a plan as to how many seasons they're doing, which is kind of a bit weird. So I mean, how do they know how much of the game to cover in this Season 2 if they don't know how many seasons they're doing? I don't understand how that works. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Maybe you guys understand that more than I do, but if you don't know how many seasons you're doing, then how do they know how much content to cover in Season 2? That doesn't make any sense. But anyway, so let's take a look at these character posters. So let's go over to X. So starting off here with Caitlin Dever and Abby. I was a bit cold on the casting of Caitlin Dever because I wanted someone who was playing Abby to look like Abby from the video game. And obviously Abby in the game, she's a pretty butch female character. You know, she's got a lot of muscle, she's pretty jacked for a female character. And I wanted someone who was going to represent that image. So I was a bit cold on the Caitlin Dever casting. But after seeing some of these character posters, seeing some of the images and the marketing, I've kind of come around to the idea, and Caitlin Dever is also a fantastic actress. I mean, seeing this character poster here, looking at her from behind, that absolutely looks like Abby from the game, from behind. You know, got the signature kind of ponytail, the cargo pants, and kind of like the, you know, the sweater thing that she's wearing. And it looks exactly like Abby would. So it looks great. It's a great poster. It just kind of sums up Abby here. Obviously we've got the, is it Firefly, I think it's called, the Fireflies, this logo on the ground underneath her, and I'm sure she's going to do a great job, and I've kind of warmed to the idea of Caitlin Dever as, you know, as Abby in this role. So let's move on to the next one. So going on to this next one here, we obviously have Pedro Pascal here as Joel, and just standing there with the white background. Obviously he's got his hunting rifle. We all know what happens to Joel in the second part, you know, in The Last of Us Part 2, the video game. He obviously kicks the can, but when exactly is that going to happen? Is it going to happen in Season 2, Season 3, Season 4? We don't know how much they're drawing, you know, how much they're drawing out these games into different seasons. And they said they don't even know how many seasons they're doing. So as to when that event happens with Joel, we don't know. Could be Season 2, could be Season 3, could possibly be Season 4. We don't know because they don't even know how many seasons they're doing, which is kind of strange still. Okay, so moving on to the next one, and then we finish off here with, obviously with Bella Ramsey playing Ellie. Again, I'm not a person who really likes that casting, but because she's a great actress, I can kind of get over it to some degree. And then we just see Ellie here. Obviously, she's got a kind of plaid shirt on, signature shirt that she wears in the game sort of thing. Obviously a hunting rifle, and she's got a combat knife in her hand as well. And she's standing on top of a guitar here. Obviously the guitar has a lot of, you know, is a very powerful symbol within the game. Joel gives her the guitar. She learns to play the guitar. And then later on in the second part of the game, she gets one of her fingers chopped off and she can't play the guitar properly. I remember that, man. One of the most saddest scenes I've ever seen. She tries to play the guitar, but her finger gets cut off, and she's there trying to play the guitar, but she's lost a finger. And it's just, wow, absolutely emotionally powerful scene. And I'm sure we're going to get that in one of the seasons, you know, of the show. Okay, I think that's pretty much where we are, and then we'll move on to the final image here. So Deadline, it picks up 5 years after the events of the first season. Joel, Ellie are drawn into a conflict with each other, and the world even more dangerous and unpredictable than the one they left behind. And we have this image here. I'm not sure if this image has been out for a long time or if this is a new image, so, you know, I do apologize if it's not a new image, but we'll look at it anyway. So we've got Bella Ramsey, obviously on horseback, and we've got the other character. Oh, I can't remember. Dina. It's Dina, isn't it? I was trying to remember that. I haven't watched the gameplay footage for a long time, and I haven't seen the first season for a long time, so I couldn't remember the name. But yeah, it's Dina. So we've got Ellie and Dina. Obviously, they end up falling in love with each other and all that kind of stuff. Pretty emotional, kind of powerful, you know, kind of chemistry between these two characters. So we'll have to see how that kind of works out in the ongoing seasons. But yeah, it's great to see him on horseback, kind of walking through the snow. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of a cool image, and it does scream The Last of Us, so that's pretty damn cool. So let's go back over. Is there anything else on this article that we can dive into? Our new cast members for Season 2. So I'll just highlight this, guys. So have a pause and a read of that if you want to for the new cast members. I'm not going to try and read it because I'll butcher the names. So The Last of Us is set 20 years after modern civilization has been destroyed and centers on a relationship between Joel, a smuggler in this world, and Ellie, a teenager who may be the cure to a deadly pandemic. We all know the story by now, guys, about everything that happens. The Season 1 cast list is there, so have a pause and read of that if you want to. Filming took place in Vancouver, since a significant part of the story of The Last of Us Part 2 game is set in the Pacific Northwest. Are you looking forward to this season of The Last of Us? Yeah, I think this is going to be one of the most anticipated series of the year, by far. A lot of people are really, really looking forward to this, and I really hope they nail it. They took a huge risk on turning this game into a live-action series, because the actual story in the game, like, and the cinematography in the game itself, is just absolutely incredible. So trying to top that in a series, or trying to match the quality in a live action series was a risky move, but they pulled off the first season. A lot of people loved the first season. Can they do the same quality wise in subsequent seasons? We'll have to wait and see. But everyone's excited to see Caitlin Dever's performance as Abby. I'm definitely excited to see it. So guys, jump into the comment section. Let me know what you think about this. What do you think about these new character posters? Does it get you excited for the series? Are you excited to see what they do with this live action series going forward? And will you be tuning in when it drops on April the 13th? Let me know down in the comment section, guys. Can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about this. As always, thanks so much for watching. Be sure to hit the like button and consider becoming a subscriber of the channel if you haven't done so far. It goes a long way to helping out my content, so I'd really, really appreciate that. And as always, I will see you in the next video.